Hello, everyone. Welcome to the preview for the game against the mighty Sand Bucket Bournemouth, a team who, quite right in their own right, beat us and played us off the park last season in this fixture. They are above us currently in the table, Sam, and doing really, really well. Should we be worried about this game?
Um, Under Amrim, I think less worried than I would be under Ten Hag. Because I think Iriola soundly beat Ten Hag every time he played him. But Bournemouth are doing extremely well this season. I'd say better than they did last season.
Yeah.
Even though they looked good last season as well, I think they've significantly improved. Got some really decent players who are playing at extremely high levels, and Amrin's in a new system, trying to get people going, trying to get things back. A couple of injuries and stuff, so it's definitely going to be a tough game. But I'm not as worried as I would be under the previous manager.
Okay, interesting. I mean, the good thing is it's not going to be the same team that played against Spurs because obviously that was a heavily rotated team. So no chance for Anthony or Bayende or anyone like that. You
Yeah,
should be expecting full strength
I'd
side.
say I'd say so. Like because obviously Mason Mount's out, who may have been in contention, but
Mm,
there is that, and then Lindelof went off injured, but I wouldn't expect him to play in this game. So apart from that, you've got a full selection, really, haven't you? Obviously, there's the
mm.
question of Marcus Rashford, but when he was playing, he wasn't really affecting games. So again, I wouldn't really count him as like, oh, he needs to play. So yeah, apart from that, like you've got a full selection of players, so I don't see why he wouldn't go full strength. I think the Premier League and the Europa League have to be his priority. Maybe the Europa League a little bit more. So that's maybe why he rotated in the cup competition to sort of give players certain rests and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely see a different team this weekend.
We said, didn't we, that we had to have an uncomfortable conversation, sorry, after the Spurs game about Lissandro Martinez.
Yeah.
At this point, should he be dropped?
I mean, after that performance, you couldn't argue with it, could you? Like, you couldn't say, oh, no, you should play. I don't know if he will be. I think maybe if he has a sustained period, like a few games in a row, because he had a really good game against Manchester City. I think he was really, really good. So I think if he does drop another stinker, then he might be in contention for being dropped the following game. I wouldn't expect him to for this one. Um, but yeah, there's definitely a conversation there. Like if people were asking for him to be dropped, I couldn't argue against it. To be fair,
It's weird, wasn't it? Because obviously we had Bayern, Lissandro, Anthony, and there was a couple who dropped stinkers. But I thought the kind of conclusion everyone came to after that game, or a lot of the stuff that I was seeing online, was because they can start to see these kind of seeds growing in the team, and
hmm
they can see an identity and a setup and tactics and something to kind of resonate with. They actually wasn't as sad or as pissed off. It didn't seem, even though he'd been knocked out, in the
yeah,
quarterfinals,
yeah.
it did have that kind of aura about it, didn't it?
Well, it's the way you lose, isn't it? Like we lost, but you saw the fight in the team in the second half, trying to come back in team, especially when we got quality off the bench in Mainu and Ahmad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you saw the improvement, and you can see what he's trying to do by giving players opportunities to prove themselves and stuff like that. And now people can't see. Do you remember when like Donny van de Beek didn't play, and people, oh, if Donny plays, it'll sort it out. He's given everybody an opportunity, so now you
Yeah.
cannot say to him, he's not giving this guy an opportunity, like because he has. He's given every single person, and there's certain players in that team you saw like last night where you're like, I don't think he's good enough, and
Mm.
you can see that now and given those opportunities. So I think yeah, he's definitely working out who he can rely on and who he can trust, and who's probably going to go in the summer.
It's about time to start getting some consistency in it. I remember listening to, I was listening to Talk of the Devils last night. Couldn't sleep, and it dropped at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just bang it on." And Andy Mitten brought up a great point. He was talking about like how the pattern that we're having at the minute, we win to, lose to, win to, lose to, and it's like you can't keep going in that form, going into, like I said, it's great to beat City, and it was, a magical moment. But does it really mean anything if you can't build on that?
It has to be sustained period of like success, doesn't it? Of like improvement. So yeah, he's right. Like you can't be dropping a stinker against Bournemouth after going out in the cup. Like it's not going to help matters, is it? And it's going to
Mm.
set back the progress and stuff like that. So yeah, he needs to put in a performance against Bournemouth, especially at home as well. Like because that performance against Nottingham Forest, there was mistakes in there. There was things that he won't be happy with and stuff like that. So you need to put that to bed and to rest as well at home in front of the Stretford end.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Bournemouth. Jesus Christ, you still not had much sleep. One loss in their last 5. Obviously, Ariola's done a really, really impressive job, and especially after losing some of the players like Solanke was a big one for them. I know we didn't necessarily start off at Spurs like a firework, but he's starting to find his feet a little bit there now. So they have to go and reinvest that money. They haven't got the biggest of budgets, but players like Clivert, Semenyo, Evan Nilsson, all getting involved, scoring for them at the moment. They are 6th in the Premier League currently, 2 points behind Manchester City. That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, but they play really well. Like if you watch their games, like I've watched them quite a lot this season, their football is scintillating. Like it's really good to watch. Like high press, high energy. They non-stop going for the kill, going for the attack. Like that's just what they're all about. That's all they tend to go with. And then they've got like these really sort of hard workers in the team that are not necessarily like sort of like the players you mentioned, like the sort of star players. Who sort of work hard for the team and are part of it. And then they've even made Ariza Balaga look good in the team, haven't they? And you saw him at Chelsea. The people were like, shit, he's awful and stuff. And he's looked decent at Bournemouth. So I think, Iriola's got to take a lot of credit for the way he's got him playing, the position he's got him in. Like they might sneak into Europa League or Europa Conference League this year. You never know. So yeah, he deserves a lot of credit, and the players do as well. Like every time I watch like players like Semenyo, Utada, who was the other one you mentioned as well? Clivert in particular, yeah. So I think, they all deserve credit and they've been fantastic. So I think these teams like them, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Brentford, they've all stepped up to the plate this year. And then teams like us, Spurs, Arsenal, City have kind of fallen off a little bit, haven't we? And just sort of like, and it's allowed them to sort of sneak into those places. So all credit to them lot.
You was quite surprised when I mentioned about where Bournemouth were, and likewise when I heard it myself, I was like, "What the fuck? 2 points behind Man City? That is crazy." Halfway through a season, pretty much. But just to kind of double like excitement, if we beat Bournemouth, we go above them. That's how close the table is at the minute.
And we go 5th if we go.
Well, it depends on other games. We go above Bournemouth because obviously they're on 25 points, we're on 22, and our goal difference is like level basically. So you presume if we beat them, obviously we scored more, we'll go above them. Which is, I know it's not a great thing in isolation. You say United above Bournemouth, but given the way the table is at the minute, that is still a bit crazy, isn't it?
But you go above Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are in 6th, so in sort of reality, it is a good thing, isn't it? Like normally, if you say you go above Bournemouth, you're like, oh, what, you're 11th fighter? It's like, no, Bournemouth is 6th position, so it's quite a good position. So yeah, it'd be good. It's a good team to beat. Like you need to be beating the teams who are ahead of you in the table in order to sort of climb your way up there. And at the minute, there's a lot of fucking teams ahead of us, unfortunately. So
that's what
it needs to happen. And like you said, the table's really close. There's very small points gaps between like 5th and 6th and like 13th, 14th. So a couple of wins, you can rocket up that table.
Yeah. I hope we can do this because if I always feel like I'll be completely depleted if we end up losing to Bournemouth. It feels like again 1 step forward and 2 steps back, don't it? Like it's about. I think you really, really need to put in a convincing performance. At Old Trafford, especially.
Yeah.
I know Bournemouth have been decent, but you should not comfortably beating them, but you should still give them a decent game and be winning 2 or 3-0. But we'll get into score predictions shortly. Someone else who I wanted to discuss was Kirkes, Sam, because obviously we've been heavily linked with him for a while. How high is he on your priority list, and what do you make of him as a player?
Really good player. I think he's excellent. How old is he? 23, 24? Like, is he younger than that?
Mid-20s, I'd probably say.
But yeah, he's come to prominence this season. He's like their starting left back. Gets forward really, really well. He's good defensively as well. He's got a bit of aggression about him, which I always like in a United player. I think him, if you're going to buy from the Premier League in terms of fullbacks, him and Anthony Robinson would probably be the two I'd go look at and be like, those two could be potentials to sort of be that wing back, left wing back that we need, because obviously Luke Shaw's unreliable. Malacia is just going back from injury, but I don't see him as our starting left full back or left wing back. But he's a good backup, I would say. But if you go get an Anthony Robinson or a Kirkes, I think they're really good selections. I know we hate this phrase "prem proven," but they are. You can see where they are in the table. They're doing well. They're playing extremely well. So I think those two would be the two I'd look at if you're going to buy from the Premier League, which makes it a bit easier in terms of like visas and Brexit and all that sort of shite that we've had to deal with recently. So yeah, I really like him. I think he's a really good player. But at the minute, I'm leaning more towards Anthony Robinson. Maybe that's recency bias, but I'm kind of favouring him in a minute.
It's weird that Bournemouth have this thing of like they seem to get players from areas that no one really scouts in.
Yeah.
So like for example, Kirkes, I'm pretty sure is he a Hungarian?
Yes.
Pretty sure he's Hungarian, right? Which is like you don't see a lot of players coming from there, but they seem to find the stars in. Do you know what I mean? Like they've got.
They go get players who had promise, but then have fallen off, like Justin Kluivert. Like Justin Kluivert he played for Roma, I think. He played for like big team, and then he wasn't getting it, and people are sort of giving up. But obviously, his dad is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And now he's played at Bournemouth. He's found his feet, and he's playing fantastically. So it's like they take chances on players, like you said, from areas that you're not going to scout, but also players who may have been overlooked because they've not performed to the level that they were expected.
I think it's a sign of the times at the Premier League, especially as well with some of the players at the time. So Evan Nilsson, for example, come from the Portuguese league. Was it Porto? He came from Evan Nilsson, I'm pretty sure.
Isn't it their record
to go from
signing
Porto,
well? Sure
record signing, 40 million quid Bournemouth spent, I think it was. To go from Porto to Bournemouth, that shows the strength of the Prem, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the Premier League is the top league in the world.
Yeah.
So players want to play here. So an opportunity to join a club like a Bournemouth, like a Brighton, like a Brentford. If you could go to there, then you can play there for a couple of years, and then maybe you get your big move to Chelsea, a United, a Spurs, something like that, or you get a move to like another top European club, something like that. A good stepping stone, like we've seen it with Wolves. Pedro Neto played there for a while, gets to move to Chelsea. Fulham, I can see Anthony Robinson stepping up and doing that. There's plenty of players who've done it, so why not that and get the use out of them? Brighton, that's how their business model runs, isn't it? They find gems, play them, they play extremely well, and then they sell them for a massive profit. And I'm sure if we went to Bournemouth to try and buy Kirkes, it'd be a lot of money. I'm sure it would.
Yeah. We spoke about this before, haven't we? Said 40-50 for him, probably not too far away for Robinson either. So it's going to be, you have to pay your money. You have to do what you got to do. And listen, they're arguing in a minute. Both of them, Fulham and Bournemouth, could turn around and say, "Fuck off, mate." Yeah, we're above you. We've got more chance of European football than you have, which is genuinely true at the minute. So, yeah. Wants to watch in this game, Sam?
For Bournemouth, Kluivert, I think he's in a really good reign of form. Really good penalty taker as well. So please don't give away a penalty because I think you're
that's going to happen now.
Oh Jesus. So yeah, he's really really interesting. For United, it's got to be Ahmad, hasn't it? He's every time he comes on,
the exact two that I have.
Every time he comes on, he looks phenomenal and he saves us games, doesn't he? Like that Tottenham game, I was like, we're losing 3-0 here, and then Ahmad comes on and changes everything, and you think maybe there's a comeback here. And
I mean, Forster definitely helped him.
Well, yeah,
I'll tell you that.
But Ahmad pressed him, didn't he? Like Ahmad was the one who pressed him.
Did it against Pauk, did it against Everton.
So I think he makes things happen, and I think especially playing in that 10 position, I think that's probably his best position. He can play wing back, and he does a really good job at doing it. But I think that 10 position is his best position, and I think if we play him, we'll create chances and hopefully get a couple of goals because I think he's really important to United.
Yeah, agreed. 5 quick fire questions. Who will finish higher this season, Bournemouth or United?
Fucking hell.
That is a tough question for you. I think there's 17 games left of the season.
Say United just.
So where do you think both teams will finish? Like what? Where in the league?
I think they'll both finish in the top 10. Yeah.
Interesting. Would you take any player from Bournemouth?
Yeah, Kirkes. I'll take him. Definitely take him.
Will Rashford be in the team?
I don't think so.
I actually, just as a quick side thing, I actually did include him initially in like the pre-match kind of, when we talked about United. And then I thought, we spoke about him that much. I just can't be asked. I'm done with it. Like, so yeah, do you think he'll be the team?
No, I don't think he will.
No. Okay. I could probably agree. Will both teams score?
Yes.
And prediction for man of the match? Amad Diallo.
I was going to say Ahmad, but I don't want to say Ahmad because it's becoming a Mazraoui type thing now, isn't it? Where I just say the same name every week. So I'm going to try and pick a different name.
Ugarte.
Yeah, let's go with Garte.
Manuel, the El Extinctor. Yeah, let's go with, if you go with Ugarte. Kobe. Let's go with Kobe. I think it's about time. I mean, he's been doing well anyway, but I think I want to see him step up a bit now. And with that being said, let's see who's included in our teams. Who wants to go? Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
You go. You go.
Okay. Right. So I've gone Onana, obviously back in net.
Yep.
Please don't put my idea back in net.
I'm eating.
I've gone yeah. I actually would. Genuinely, the next game, I would. If you're going to rotate, I actually would give it Tom Eaton.
Can we get Sergio Romero back by any chance? Can we do that?
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? It would be very nice. I've gone. This is the one where I'm like, will he start him again? I'm not sure. But I've gone Euro Delete Maz at the back because I think Lissandro might get dropped. And if you're going to drop him, I don't know who fills in there.
Yep.
Maybe Maguire comes back in potentially. I'm not sure. And Delete pushes out to one of the wide centre back roles. I think Dallo as a right wing back, Kobe, Ugarte, and Malacio as your left wing back. And then Ahmad, Xerxes, and Bruno as your front three. That's what I've gone for.
Interesting. You don't think Højlund plays then? No.
I didn't think he was great on Thursday. I think Xerxes came on, had a decent, got a goal, decent little cameo. I think he might drop him. It's a big call, but
yeah, fair. Yeah, I will go Onana. I think Leacher keeps his place, so I think it'd be Leacher, Maguire, Delite, and Delite goes out to the other side.
Okay.
I'd love to see Yoro start again, but I think he's slowly bedding him in. I think he's just slowly. Yeah. I think Mazraoui gets a rest because he looked fucking tired, didn't he, against Tottenham?
Knackered.
So I think he's going to rest him, and I think it's a good because he has got a history of injury issues, Mazraoui. So I think it'd be good to rest him. So I think Malacia on the left wing back, Dallo on the right wing back, Ugarte, Mainu, because I really liked that double pivot, and I want to see it again. I want to see it again. Bruno, Ahmad in the 10s, and then I think you'll see Højlund up top.
Big Rasmus. Time for him to step up in the Premier League as well. Maybe I should have included that in the United section because he's doing it in Europe. But when it comes to Carabao or Prem, he's just been missing, hasn't he? Completely missing.
Problem is, Xerxes hasn't been consistent either. So it's been really difficult to put somebody up front who's going to consistently score goals. So that it's been an issue, which is what we spoke about. We need to get an experienced striker, a Jokeres, somebody like that to come in and know who's going to score goals.
I'd be fascinated to see if Marcus did come back in, if he started as well. Obviously, you got Garnacho there as potentially.
If he did come back in, I think he's on the bench, but I don't think he's going to be in the squad.
Don't know. I've got a feeling about it that he will. I don't think he'll start, like you say, but I don't know. I've just got this feeling. But yeah, at least he's got players to pick from. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's what I was saying. We've got full selections of squad, we've got a full team, so it's like there's not many injury issues not first team injury issues anyway. So
yeah, just the usual ones that you expect.
Luke Shaw,
around at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Right, let's do score predictions. You go first on score predictions. I went first on predicted 11s.
Oh shit.
Honest as possible.
3-2 United.
Oh, 3-2.
Yeah.
Goals galore.
Yeah. We have had a lot of goals in our games, haven't we? There's been goals in pretty much every one of them.
Which is nice as well. We had fuck all in the 10 didn't we, initially? My God. Couldn't score to save our lives. I'll go 2-1 United. I'll be positive. I said I was worried about the Spurs game. This one, I think, at home, Old Trafford, Bournemouth, you've got beating them.
I think there's a penalty in this game as well. I think there's a penalty.
Yeah, I can see that. But look, listen, it's time to start developing some consistency now, and hopefully we start to see some patterns in the team. I know you need to rotate for December fixtures list, and I said this to Shreyas before in the afternoon show. It's one of my pet peeves when people say, like, why is Ahmad dropped? He's dropped because he can't play every single fucking game of every single minute.
He's not dropped either. He's rotated.
Yeah.
He's not dropped. He's not gone, you were shit, out of the team. Yeah. That's not what it is. Dropped means you had a bad game and you're not in the team. He's not in the
Yeah.
team because he's resting him, and he needs to give minutes to people to keep people
Because he's an
fresh
important player.
and rest them. Like that's how it works. Like you have to give certain minutes to certain people because
Yeah.
certain people haven't had enough minutes, like Yoro and people like that.
Yeah.
So you need to get them game time and keep them ticking over.
Mm.
But at the same time, people who've had a lot of game time, like Mazraoui and stuff like that,
Mhm.
if you run them into the ground like Ten Hag did, you end up with a massive amount of injuries. So you need to balance that. That's what rotation is for. So dropping him, I think, is the wrong sort of phrase to use. You can't just play Ahmad into the ground because then you end up breaking him and he looks shit. And then you start having a go at him because he's not playing well.
Yeah, agreed. Well, speaking of Ahmad, I've captained him for this game week. So obviously we play Bournemouth at home, and then we've got shit. If we got
On Boxing Day, is it Wolves?
Wolves at Molineux as well, it is. And there's I don't know what's going on there at the minute. So.
New manager bounce. Fucking hell.
Yeah, potentially. But I hope he does well because then it's like double whammy. I love him. He's my captain. Yeah.
I've still not got a United player in my fantasy team. I took them all out.
I don't blame you.
After game
Don't
5,
blame you
I
at
took
all.
them all out. So I've not got any.
Somehow, Dallo has been like a fucking cockroach. He's just lasted for. I don't know how. I've not managed to take him. Got round to it yet. He's just been still in the team.
I took Leacher out because he was just dropping stinkers because I had him in.
Yeah.
I took Mainu out because he was injured. Nobody had the sort of time out. So they were my 2 players, and now I've not got any United players in there.
Oh, yeah. Pray for better times. Pray for better times. Thank you very much, anyone who's been watching. Get your score predictions in, and we want to hear your team lineups as well. How you feel about the game in general, and you know what? Just leave a little bit of a betting slip in there. Things you can see happening in this game. Maybe some hot takes, if you will. Smash a like on the video for us, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you guys for the game. We'll be live pre-match and post-match as always. So we hope to see you there. And thank you for watching.
Peace.